Welcome to Gab Talk, where we provide tools, tips, and techniques to help your life and business be easier, better, and faster. Hello, everybody. How are you? This is Gab Talk Success Tips from Experts. Oh my goodness, you guys. I get to bring you the awesome and the amazing Mr. Tony Stark-Policci. How's it going today, Tony?
Going fantastic, Gab. How are you?
I am doing phenomenal, and even better because I get to talk to you today and bring you to our audience.
So excited and so happy to do this.
Yeah, you and I have actually gotten to know each other a little bit over the last few months. We have some mutual associates that introduced us, and it has just been an absolute honor to get to know you. I am so excited to have our audience learn all about you as well. So let's start out with you sharing what your expertise is.
So what I do is I am a copywriter and a marketing message master. That's what I am. So some people call copywriters wordsmiths, but it's really more than just coming up with clever words. As a copywriter, I cut my teeth as a direct response copywriter. So what I do is I create compelling marketing messages that attract your ideal client and cause them to want to do business with you and only you.
Absolutely. And I can tell you, having been an entrepreneur and business person for many years, one of the areas I have struggled with was writing, because we think about writing when we're in school, and writing an essay is so completely different than copy when we're trying to have a marketing message. And I love that you use the word compel. Has somebody read what we're saying and compels them to want to do business with you.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Because if nobody's paying attention and taking any action based on what you've written, then what's the point?
Exactly. So all of the experts that we interview have a background and a backstory that got them to the level of expertise that they are. Will you share with our audience about your background?
Sure, absolutely. It was very interesting. In 1991, I was in college to become an actor. I was studying theater. That was really my dream, was to be a professional actor. And my younger brother, he had a carpet cleaning business, which was failing. So he started studying marketing, and he came to me with this newsletter called the Gary Halbert newsletter. And he said, read this. And I read it and I was like, wow, this is really impressive stuff. And it was all about marketing and copywriting. Gary Halbert was one of the most successful copywriters of modern times. So, I took some of the ideas in here and decided to use them to promote myself as an actor locally to some casting agents and things like that. And lo and behold, it really worked. Now, fast forward a few years, I did have a successful career as a professional actor. Had a great time, on the professional stage, was in 3 world premiere plays, did a few movies. In the meantime, my younger brother had built this business and started actually selling marketing information. And he started a company called Piranha Marketing. I had come back to Arizona from where I was in Louisville, Kentucky. And my dad said, you need to go help your brother with his business. Had some other things going on, which kind of put my acting career on hold. So I started helping my brother with this business. He was only a couple months into it. So basically, that's where I learned direct response copywriting. We built a company that became the #1 marketing education agency to the cleaning industry. And that is where I met some of the great copywriters like Dan Kennedy, Gary Halbert, Ted Nicholas, Jay Abram. Had a chance to work with these guys, and we built a very successful business. That's how I got started in this crazy world of marketing and copywriting.
That's such an interesting story. And what's really even more interesting about it, and so often happens with so many people, is you started way over here with the intention of doing this, and then something happened and created a shift, and you actually were using that to help this, but then you wound up being all the way over here and found a whole different area of success and really found your space of genius to shine in this entirely different area than you had started out in.
Yeah, it's really interesting how everything worked out. What's funny is I'm still very passionate about acting and theater. Now, I have implemented that into what I do as a marketer and a copywriter. And maybe we'll have a chance to talk about some of that. But my circumstances that actually led me to make a living doing this, were certainly unplanned, but it's really wonderful the way that everything worked out. So I'm grateful, and it afforded me the opportunity to do a lot of wonderful things in my life and with my family.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that make pivots, it's unplanned and then they find their space of genius. So that's really awesome. Now, you mentioned several people that were very influential on you as you were coming up and cutting your teeth. But before we started the interview, I had asked you, and you said there was one person and one book in particular that really stands out in the space of influencing you in this direction.
Yeah, there were a lot of books that I read when I first got started as a copywriter. Some of the books that are still recommended, Tested Advertising Methods is one of them. There's a whole slew, but the one that I was talking about to you is by Eugene Schwartz, and the title of the book is Breakthrough Advertising. Now, Eugene Schwartz may have been the most successful copywriter ever. And his book really delves into human psychology, understanding your market, understanding products. And the thing that I really related to the most about Eugene Schwartz was he used this term. I didn't discover this until quite a few years into my career, to be honest, but he used this term that I thought I coined. You see, as an actor, I studied something called method acting.
Right.
And that is where you basically take on the life of your character. You live as that character on and off screen or on and off stage. Well, he used the term method marketer. And I thought I coined that, years earlier because I used it in describing myself. It's like, I'm a method marketer. What I do is I go in and I become your actual target market so that I can write to the person because I understand what they are, who they are, how they, they live, they breathe, they sleep, they eat. And in reading his book and hearing this term, I really just developed an affinity for him. That book is brilliant. It's very expensive. It's not a $20 book. I think if you can find a copy, it's going to cost you at least $100, maybe a couple hundred. But Eugene was a brilliant copywriter and marketer, and anyone can learn so much from him.
Wow. So we should probably find a link to that on Amazon or somewhere and make sure that's included in the notes later on, because if it's coming from you to recommend that book, it's probably going to be extremely powerful for the audience members to get a copy for themselves, for sure. Hello, awesome listener. Thank you so much for joining us today at Gab Talk Success Tips from Experts. We're going to take a short break and say thank you to our sponsors. It is through the generous support of these sponsors that we are able to bring to you these amazing experts that are sharing their best tips for your success. So please listen to what our sponsors have to say, and hopefully they're going to inspire you that you're going to click their links and go support them.
This is Tony Stark-Policci, copywriter, marketing consultant, and author. And I have a question for you. If you could take $20 and turn it into $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 or $100,000, would you do it? Well, you can. And it's not through gambling. It's not investing in the stock market. It's by buying this book. That's right, my book. This was voted number 9 out of the top 100 best copywriting books ever written, and I wrote it for you, for business owners, to help you write better emails, better sales copy, better advertisement, to communicate better in all of your marketing and business communications. This book will change your business and your life. Try it. You're going to love it.
Is your computer secure? Is your personal information at risk? Global internet traffic is at an all-time high due to COVID, with mobile accounting for over half of it. Is your financial data under attack? People are on YouTube and Facebook and all over social media. Hackers are everywhere. Can you protect yourself? Tech Assist can help. I think I've been hacked. Help. Keep your personal data safe. Oh no, my computer isn't working. Abby and Dar are your answer.
So one of the things I think is really important when we're having conversations with people who are experts is if you're changing and pivoting careers, there's advice that we could use. I know you have some young adult children, and I have a teenager that's going to be coming out into the business world pretty soon. If I could ask you to give one piece of advice to that audience member, what would that be?
Looking back on my life, if I had to talk to 20-year-old Tony, I would probably say, Be less concerned with what other people think about you. In my youth, I was very concerned about other people's opinions of what I was going to do, whether I was going to make a mistake. And so I was more cautious. And really, looking back, I would love to just eliminate that. Do what you believe to be right and good and true for you. The second thing is educate yourself about what you're interested in. Do not make decisions about how you're going to spend your life or what kind of career you're going to go into based on what you think other people are going to appreciate or respect you for. I've met so many people in my career who spent 20, 30 years doing something that they hated because they felt like that was the smart choice. Find what you're really good at. Find what lights you up and go after that and find a way to monetize that. That would be my advice.
I wish I'd had that advice when I was 20 instead of the advice of not doing what lit me up. Speaking of, I know that you have some really good advice that people can actually take action on right now to help them in their own personal growth towards expertise. Will you share that with us?
I think one thing that'll apply across the board is that no matter what business you're in, no matter what your expertise is, you're going to be doing business with other people. Remember that we don't talk to corporations, we don't talk to brands, we talk to humans. And it is important when you are communicating to understand the pains and the problems of the people that you're going to be communicating with. Talk to them as a human being. That's first and foremost. I remember one of the first things that my younger brother did with me when I started writing copy professionally. I wrote this one-page sales letter that I thought was really brilliant. And I gave it to him and he gave it back to me. It looked like it was graded by a psychopathic English teacher. It had all this red ink on it and cuss words, like what the were you thinking? But the lesson was, you see, I was still writing like I thought I had to write, very corporate, very stiff. And writing needs to be the same way that we talk. And that is based on who you're talking to. So if you are someone and your expertise is you work with other construction workers, you're going to use different kinds of language than you would if you're communicating with medical doctors. Completely different, set of circumstances, language, things like that. Number two, research. You really need to understand who you're talking to. And if you happen to be in a business where your target market may be very diverse, for example, if you have a product and you are marketing to nursing mothers, that's very simple to identify. But if you have a product and you're going out to a diverse group of people, like say, for instance, you're offering a business opportunity, right? Then you want to look at what's important to somebody who is 20 years of age looking for this kind of thing versus somebody who's 30 years of age looking for a business opportunity versus somebody who is 65 and is now looking for a business opportunity. Some of the best places to find research on this is to go online and look at conversations on Quora. You can find out an awful lot about who you're trying to direct your message to by going and doing that research. Research is really crucial. Don't just imagine that the message you write is going to connect with people. You need to understand who you're talking to. And remember, it's one person to one person, write to one person, create a vision, of who you're talking to. I think those two things are really crucial.
Right. One of the things I talk about all the time is meet people where they are. And it's kind of similar to what you're discussing. If I'm taking one message to many people, I still need to understand those many people, how they receive information, and talk to them in a way that they're going to actually be open to the words that I'm giving them. And I think that speaks to what you're talking about right now. Yeah.
Right. I agree. Yeah, absolutely. If we don't understand who we're talking to, we could very well use language or even slang terms or things like that that may completely turn them off.
Absolutely. Can I ask you a little bit about psychology of the words that are used? One of the things I've heard a lot about in the last few years is the personality coding, understanding different people. Some people are action people. Some people are like, I just want the bullet points. Some people are like, oh, give me a big flowery story. How do we reach all of those people in one message, or do we?
Well, okay, so the psychology of different types of personalities is more complex than I can go into in the time that we have here today. What I will say is this: there are some people you have your people that are more analytical, you have your people that are more auditory, more visual, people that respond more to feelings words and feelings messages. So if you are trying to communicate to a broad base of people, then it's important to include elements of each of the personality types in your marketing messages so that you can create word pictures for the people that need to see things. You can use words that are interesting for the people who appealing to that. For the analytical people, you need to use proof and credibility and rational arguments. And for the people that are emotional, you want to include story elements so that they can really, connect with what's going on from an emotional standpoint.
Absolutely. Is that one of the things that you cover in your book?
It is one of the things I cover in my book, not in depth, but I do talk about the different types of approaches and psychology. I believe I have a chapter in there about knowing your mark. And
Well, I love the tagline on the cover, how to create marketing messages and offers they just can't refuse.
That's right.
And again, this is my personally signed copy of the book, and I love this book. On each episode of Gab Talk Success Tips from Experts, we like to highlight a hero sponsor who is a business that chooses to highlight a do-good organization in their own community that is bettering the world. Today's hero sponsor is...
Hello world, this is Z, or you can call me Mr. Z. I am a web developer and I am also a consultant from Z World Webs. Today I want to highlight Nancy's House, because Nancy's House is a nonprofit organization that breaks the isolation and exhaustion that can come with taking care of someone who is chronically ill or disabled. Nancy's House also builds a community of support and offers self-care skills with 1 and 3 day in-person respite retreats, online workshops, and much more. To learn more about Nancy's House, please visit their website at www.nancys-house.org. The link can be found in the show notes. So with that being said, my name is Z from Z World Webs, and let's develop a website Z World is waiting for.
So I know that you have an offer for our audience and they can reach out to you on your website, and you also have a digital business card. Will you share with our audience about that?
Absolutely. Your audience can find out anything about me, all my social, everything, by just going to my digital business card. And that is very simple. It's tonyscard.com.
And we will get the link to that in the notes and in the description, so you guys can click on that. And then you have an offer as well.
Yes. So I would love to put my book in everyone's hands because I think it's the best $20 that you'll ever spend in your life. Like I tell people, how would you like to turn $20 into 10,000 or more? And everybody's like, yeah, what's the stock? I'm like, it's not a stock, it's my book. So my offer for your audience is, if you purchase my book, I'm going to also give you an opportunity to have a free consultation with myself or one of my team members. And we'll be able to talk about a promotion that you have, anything that we can do in a short amount of time. This is a real $300 value minimum. And the way that you do that is when you go to grabtonysbook.com, and you get a copy of my book, there'll be a little box where you can put in a code. And if you put in Gab Talks, that will qualify you for the free consultation with myself and my team.
So that is going to be a phenomenal value for you guys. I can attest, because I've taken some things that I've written and I think I'm a pretty good writer. Now, it hasn't been that whole crazy red lines like the crazy English teacher, but I have given stuff to Tony and he's sent it back to me and taken something that looks good and turned it into great. So I promise you, that consultation will be absolutely worth it. Again, the links are going to be below in the show notes, in the description. Click on it, get the book. You will not regret it, and reach out to Tony and find out how he can help you improve your copywriting and make you shine. Make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to click the reminder so that you find out when our next episode is coming. It was great to have you today, Tony, and we will talk to you guys soon. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We hope you got value today. We want to give a huge shout out of gratitude to our contributors. Please make sure you click the subscribe button below, and don't forget to click the bell up above to get reminders when we add new content.